So I have jotted down some things what I perceive in a patient when he sits in front of me. Now this is in relation to the headache, okay? So the background information, this is what I want to say. So when somebody talks of headache, I know the important areas from which the pain can come from. It can be a psychological area, so pain can come from psychology, pain can come from ophthalmology, pain can come from neurology, or pain can come from any systematic disease. These are the areas when which your, so this background information is very necessary when you are thinking of headache. Now remember, to begin with, the head area, when you are talking about headache, has a very few pain sensitive areas. So only when those areas are affected you get a headache. Otherwise you may have a big stone in your head and there won't be a headache. And that's the reason why in brain tumors many times do not present with headache, because they are not in those pain sensitive areas. So have you followed this? And that's why brain tumor people usually presents with neurological loss rather than a headache. So write down the pain sensitive areas in the head. Venous sinuses. I remember. Now in between I will always talk about case. I had a case. I was called in a hospital, in an intensive care unit of Parsi General Hospital. Very young, beautiful Parsi lady, in her 30s, had a very bad migraine. Such a bad that she was shifted to an intensive care unit. Post delivery. She delivered the baby, and on the second day, the reason was that with the headache, she went into convulsion. That was the reason you shift to ICU. Dr. Naushir Wadia, who was a treating neurologist, says that she has only 1 day or 2 days to live. So, reason, she has a thrombosis in the venous sinuses of the brain postpartum. Postpartum means post-delivery. And so, the husband panics and via reference I see the lady. So yeah, what I am trying to tell you is that the venous sinuses in the brain are very, very sensitive. It can give you a headache as if you can directly land up to the ICU. Okay? So I saw the lady. Unfortunately, by the time I saw her, she already had meningitis. You get a full-fledged signs of meningitis. Yet, I never gave up the hope. She was totally drugged, so she couldn't give me even a homeopathic history, because there was no position that I can tell them that you stop all the medicine and start homeopathy. So whatever I had to do was over and above what she was receiving. So she was an old case of migraine. Now this is what the husband says. Headache has always been a part of her life. Popping Saridon and popping Espro, in those days these were the very common painkillers, was very common in her. She was a jewellery designer by profession, very smart, Parsi lady. Second child, first delivery was normal, huge sensitivity. So sensitivity is so strong that in one-to-one relationship, she is always a giver, she is always a peacemaker. The root cause was mother-in-law, who was little strict, but for her sensitivity, she was dominating. Do you follow what I mean? And so, everything that she did was with fear, and everything that she did was with anxiety, and everything that she did was unconsciously having an approval from a mother-in-law. Do you follow? So unconsciously trying to get approval from the mother-in-law, unconsciously trying to be pleasing her, her sensitivity was very strong. Why? Because she felt what she will think of me if I don't obey her. So that fear of the opinion of others, sensitive to opinion of others, sensitive to rudeness, were the basic feeling of that particular lady before she developed this illness, the basic nature. Her second main problem before getting this illness was bronchial asthma, extremely allergic to dust, pollens, full moon, new moon, chocolate and nuts. So she had another asthma problem also. Since when? Since marriage. Why since marriage? This atmosphere. Her husband was a very loving son of the mother, and that was the main reason she never wanted to speak something that will affect her relationship with her husband and husband's relationship with the mother. You follow? But the sensitivity was very strong. This was the background information. I couldn't get much. The husband was also in a state of shock. The whole family was gathered outside the intensive care unit and they were depending on me. Because Dr. Naushir Wadia said that if somebody can do something for your wife, he is the man. So I saw the reports. There was no bacteria or virus identified in her cerebrospinal fluid. So this is what is known as aseptic meningitis in medical terms. She had convulsions for which she was on anticonvulsant medicine. She was given tranquilizers because she had a headache. Her respiratory passage was kept clear in intensive care unit. So I had to attack only the venous system and reduce the thrombosis if at all I can. So before the drug you have to decide, do you treat this state or you treat the state behind the state. The present state is intense, correct? Now to treat the state behind that which is in the background is not very good, because there are fair chances the present state will get severely aggravated. The time zone is very less because doctor said in 2 days she will die. So I have to focus on present state. But there is no present state. What is the present state? She is drowsy. I cannot take that. Correct? She has meningitis. I cannot take that because that's a pathological diagnosis. What else can I take? So now, even though the method that I want to adopt is the right method, there is nothing in front of me. So let us go slowly. So see, we have to argue a lot. So let us keep the framework of Organon and see what does Hahnemann had to say for such a situation. So the most important thing you have to go is the chapter on totality of symptoms. So what is the totality in this case? Hardly, because there are hardly any symptoms. If at all there are symptoms, it is all pathological. Okay? So when the totality of the symptom is not available, do not select a remedy. That is what Hahnemann says. That is what George Vitulka says in his Principle and Practice of Homeopathy. But then, do not select a medicine and allow the patient to die is also foolish. So here this becomes a state of a suspended animation. Now this is what George Vitulka says, irrespective of the pathology, consider the state which is the most prominent and severe. Now in this case the most prominent thing was 2. Convulsions, if you remember I said she had convulsions, and number 2, head pain. The convulsions as described by the husband was that she totally, when was lying on the bed with severe headache, she stretched her hands and legs like this and then turned the head backwards. So arching of the back, arching of the head and stretching of the limbs. if the head goes like this, what rubric you will take? In head, you have to look under the rubric draw. D-R-A-W, draw. Drawing of the head backwards. Then comes another rubric, complication after postpartum. Where will you take that? Female genitals, no generalities. Delivery after, that's the rubric. And then comes the last is thrombosis. So these were the 4 symptoms in front of me. Then comes the headache. The husband says the whole head was bursting. So I just took head pain, bursting or blasting or what remedy? Belladonna. Even though belladonna comes, is not a good remedy. Stretching upper limbs, stretching lower limbs, you took that? Head drawn backwards, good. The remedy that I gave was Ledum Pal 10M.